Good morning. How you doing? I'm okay. We got some good news and some bad news. Which ones do you want first? The bad news? Okay, that's what we'll do. The bad news? Yesterday, I cut all the cucumber plants out of the greenhouse. It's all gone. Um, Big empty trellis over there. There's nothing else on it. Remember a couple of weeks ago that virus or whatever it was that got into my cucumber plants and it wiped out that one plant and it just like ravaged the plant in a matter of days? I thought I had it under control. The other two plants weren't showing any signs of issues. And then I came down here yesterday because a couple of days ago I noticed there was some weird discoloration on the leaves, and I'm thinking, is that same virus? Turns out it was. It literally just ripped right through both of my cucumber plants. You could come down in the morning and then come down at night and see a noticeable change in the health of the plants and the damage to the leaves that was happening. So yesterday I cut it all out. So that's the bad news. The good news, I have all kinds of space in here now. So what we're going to do is I'll flip the camera around and I'll kind of walk you through my thought process. All right, so here we are. Here's the big pot that the cucumbers were in. Here's that big blank piece of trellis netting. I'm not going to grow anything else in this spot for food for right now. So this is basically just clear space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that big pot. It's probably hard to tell on video how big that pot is, but it's the kind of pot that trees come in. Okay, it is big, right? So I'm going to get that pot out of here. I'm going to get that tote out of here. And because one of the things that's happening is this light, my big light here, is extremely powerful, okay? And some of the plants that I have growing underneath it are struggling. It's too bright, it's frying them. And I can't turn it down because I have other plants, right, that require that amount of lumens from that. Like, for example, look what it's done to my onions. I've lost a large portion of those onions. So I want to get some of the things that are growing underneath it out of the way. This lettuce here, I'm just going to get rid of it. So if you guys are going to grow lettuce, okay, in your greenhouse, this is black-seeded Simpson. These size of pots, I don't know if that's a 1 gallon or something. These size pots do not grow lettuce well. They are too small. This is the first time I've grown lettuce inside to actually eat over the winter. So just, bit of advice. If you're going to grow lettuce, these are too small. They don't hold enough water because the leaves just evaporate so much water and they require so much water to keep those plants healthy that I'm literally like watering them every day and I can't keep up. So here's the plan. So over here, let me back up so you guys can see. There. Okay, so we have that full spectrum and that full spectrum. Neither one are nearly as powerful as that one is. So I'm going to take some of the things that are growing around this general area that don't need to be under that, and I'm going to start filling that space along the wall with them. And then that will open up space here for when I transplant, like for example, that tray of peppers and those jalapenos and those peppers there, right? When I transplant those, they're going into solo cups. And I'm going to need a bunch of space because once they're all in solo cups, right? Then I put them in totes like that because I like to bottom water them and they're easier to move around. So I need space here for several totes that big. So I'm just going to start putting things like the peppers and the tomatoes in here. Right now I've got a tray of tomatoes over there and a little tray of tomatoes back there. I just pushed them out of the way so I could deal with the cucumbers last night. So some plants really need a lot of lumens, and other plants, they really don't need it. Like I've got some spinach right in here. I'll show you guys. See, we've got some spinach growing. That spinach is going to stress right out under this big light, and it's just going to bolt. It's going to get 4 or 5 inches tall. It's going to bolt. It's going to be no good. So I'm going to move the plants that don't need as much light over to here, because they'll have all of the light they need, just not extra. And then this is going to clear up extra space for me. So that's kind of the plan. It's unfortunate that my cucumbers are done, because I'm not going to lie, being able to come down into my basement and harvest fresh grown cucumbers, pick them right off the vine, take them upstairs, wash them off, and put them in a salad, you can't beat that, right? I mean, in the middle of winter in Ontario, I'm eating fresh cucumbers. So, and as for what got my cucumbers sick in the first place, this dirt I used outside last year in this pot. And I used it outside, and I grew cucumbers in there last year. My idea is that whatever has killed my cucumbers is something that's in that soil. So as much as I, like having a big ass pot of soil that I can use to grow stuff in, I'm going to definitely be getting rid of that soil. I'm just going to take it out back, and I'm just going to dump it, because I'm not going to reuse that anymore. I'm not going to risk losing any of my plants. So the nice thing is once I get that out of here, I can just move stuff around, and I've got about 4 linear feet on the ground where I can put other trays. Like, for example, those yellow onions, I can stick them here, and they'll be happier out of the direct light of this big fat boy right here. So that's the good news and the bad news. So trying to make light of a shitty situation. So that's the kicker, guys. When you're growing food, it's always a battle, right? Nature wants to do one thing. You don't necessarily want your plants to do what nature wants to do. So you have to find a balance. In this instance, I got a bunch of cucumbers. I've been eating cucumbers off the plants for, I don't know, give or take a month, maybe a little more than a month. So I'm happy I got to eat fresh cucumbers that I grew in my own basement. And I also know that it's a viable thing that I can do again next year. I will use a different soil blend, very definitely. And I will clean and sterilize and bleach that pot in case there's anything in it that can remain after I dump it outside. And now I have more space for other things in the greenhouse. So it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. But I won because I got to eat a bunch of fresh cucumbers that I grew in my basement. So, all right, guys, just thought I'd keep you up to date. Have an awesome day. Grow good food. I'll see you in the next video.